Hey, how you guys doing? It's Be Wise at you again. And the name of this video is why you should read books if it's not evident enough. Now, there is a lot of ways that okay, let me start over. People say read books, read books, read books. You hear that a lot. They say you should read this book or you should read that book. And usually that's a good way to go. But there is a lot of bad books out there. There's books that will waste your time. So how do you find the good, juicy books? Well, after you've read so many books, after a while, it just becomes, you can tell once you just start skimming through it if it's something that's going to give you value. And I look at books as their mottos, like, okay, like we're here on this earth and we need mottos to navigate through this. We need people that was before us to give us sort of like a roadmap of what to do, what not to do. But the tricky thing about that is sometimes the information can be outdated. Sometimes the information can be not useful because time is moving very swiftly. And with that being said, we have to be mindful of the era we're in. We have to be mindful of making the book benefit the era we're in. And there's a lot of redundancy of books. There's a lot of things being repeated and just put together in a nice little package. And it's like they reselling us the same stuff, certain authors. They're packaging the same stuff, reselling it, which that's the game. And I understand the game, but you have to sift through that stuff. If you want to get a certain amount of understanding about the world, it's going to take more than just your thinking. It's going to take more than you just seeing, because there's a lot that goes unseen in the world. There's a lot that we aren't privy to. And so books kind of shed that information. Certain books, all books aren't created equal. All books, some books will waste your time, but some books will really help you out a lot. I can say a lot of books have helped me out a lot, and I have a quite extensive library. And the hardest thing about book is implementing what the author recommends. It's like there's a line between reading the book and putting it in action. Because if it was that easy, then everybody to read, think, and grow rich would be rich. And what I think is when the author writes these books, they can't make a cookie cutter book for everybody that reads it. It just will be impossible. And the person that's reading the book, the person that's buying the book, has to be smart enough to recognize his strengths and pull out what's worthy in the book and disregard the things that aren't useful. Or he will waste his time. He will waste his time. So a lot of books, you have to really try to get in the author's mind, see their viewpoint, see what they're trying to get across. And like the book I'm reading now is Naval, the Naval Almanac. I mean, I've read it before, but I just kind of I like going over that book, but it's a great business book. He kind of gives you his take on how to really truly build wealth, and that's I like that book. I like that book. But see, a lot of these books, the persons don't be ready for the book. Like, Naval can have this book on building wealth, and people are in a different level in their life where maybe they have bad credit, maybe they're struggling to survive. So Naval doesn't give you the basics, right? Most people need the basics out here. Most people need a system where they can organize their money, organize their life, and then build on that foundation, and then build another level, and then keep moving it up. But most people will struggle with the basics because they don't understand that money should be used very differently at times, and they can't see the benefit of possibly maybe saving money, or it's just so many scenarios with that. Just remember, there is no cookie cutter solution for these books. The books are, hopefully it resonates with you and you can benefit from it, and you can be at that point in your life. Because I guess if a person having struggled surviving, they might not be attracted to that book. So that might be a case also. If I'm in survival mode, then I'm not going to try to read a book on wealth, or I'm looking for a scheme or a get rich thing because I'm trying to feed these survival needs. And so that has to be considered. Be considered also. Where are you at in your development? Where are you at in your life? What stages are you? Are you coming through the storm, or is the storm over? Or what area are you in? So we must always constantly reevaluate. The new year is coming up, so we must reevaluate how we did for this year. We must value how we did for this year. Is the year the same as the last year? Did we make any improvements? Did we go backwards? You have to reevaluate your life constantly, man, because if you take your eye off the ball just for a week, something could just pop up and derail you. And your life should be where, I got another book for you. It's called Anti-Fragile, or no, what? Don't even think about Anti-Fragile. Scarcity, how having a little means a lot, or something to that nature. But scarcity, he recommends building a buffer around yourself, so when life uncertainty happens, the buffer can sustain the shocks. Because if you don't have no buffer, you're liable to make bad decisions with your money. And I thought that was a great way to look at it. So you're always building this layer of protection, even though it only can go so far, right? We already know that life is uncertain, and tomorrow could bring what tomorrow could bring. But this is just my take on books, and I love books. I love buying books, even if I can't read them all. I still think I like to have a surplus of books, surplus of information, and that's my main source of information: books. Videos are okay, podcasts okay, but books let you see another view of the world, in my humble opinion. So that's really my 2 cents on why you should read more books. And there's a lot of different thoughts on that, but this is how I see it. And I could be right, I could be wrong, but everybody's different. Everybody does what benefits them. Because we're all building our models for our life. And we can't build our models without good information. We can't build a skyscraper without the blueprint. So these books become the blueprint to our life. And that's where we need to be.